Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today are brought to you by, and that includes Brett Festerling standing by, Passat Motors. It's March Mayhem at Passat. All month long, choose either no GST, 4.99% financing on 2020 and newer vehicles, or a $2,000 trade-in bonus. Get all the info at PassatMotors.com. As we bring in former NHL defenseman, former Vancouver Giants defenseman, Brett Festerling, now working Sportsnet 650 Canucks broadcasts alongside Brendan Batchelor. And Brett, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Congratulations on the haul.
No problem. I really appreciate that, Brett. Hey, I'm supposed to ask you, and I've lost the information here. I'm supposed to ask you because there are a lot of provincial hockey championships going on in minor hockey about this stud Quesnel team that you played on back in the day that won a provincial championship. I believe it's from somebody named Dave in Quesnel.
Yeah, we had a good team. My brother and I have a twin brother that played pro longer than I did, but we ended up moving up to the midget category, AA, and we won the provincials. I don't even know what year that is, but in Smithers. So that was a special team, special group. Something about those teams, whether you win a championship in AA midget or a Memorial Cup, or I never got to raise a Stanley Cup or a European championship, but it's special groups, right? It solidifies the group, and it's memories that I'll cherish for a lifetime. That's for sure.
And on you go to the world of broadcasting, doing a great job, Brett. All three of us listen to you all the time. Hey, the Canucks win 4 straight after a really tough February. What are you seeing?
Yeah, they answered a lot of questions, right? It was time for them to really put up some effort and show that they'd steer the course and get it back to where they wanted it. And I think those were, including here coming up Wednesday in Colorado, those are 3 games and now a 4th game that were circled on the calendar as big challenges in a time where they were starting to struggle a bit. So I think they came up with big answers, and they've played well as a group, as an actual 21 kind of guy unit for 40 and 60 minutes. So I think that was a huge answer to everybody, and probably took a little stress off in the week where they were going into a deadline and needed to look at moves, but I think that took some of the pressure off with the performances they had.
Brett, Thatcher Demko leaves the game early on Saturday. Were you getting the feeling, a lot of people were, that maybe they were overplaying Thatcher Demko, especially in February when he played 11 of 13?
Yeah, maybe in February. I guess it's an easy, especially when you start to struggle a bit, it's easy to lean on your horses, and especially a guy like Demko to give you a chance in every game. So maybe, but they have been pretty good at resting them. I don't think that you can fault them. Obviously, he's going to want to come in with a day off before Winnipeg and play Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. Vegas and LA, he's chomping at the bit to show that he can stand in against those guys. So maybe a little bit, but I think they're probably playing him a little more to get to this homestand. And in this homestand, you can take the gas off a bit. Unfortunately, obviously, he leaves the game. Hopefully that's precautionary. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if you guys have in terms of that timeline and how serious that is, but hopefully it's more precautionary and just making sure it doesn't get anything more serious here.
Hey, Brett, Niles Höglander started the season. He was, buried on that 4th line, and now the guy's got 20 goals. How good is it to see this guy doing what he's doing?
Yeah, 20 even strength goals. Which is incredible. He's doing great. And yeah, the adversity he's come through, and to see guys down the lineup get challenged the way he's got challenged. He's probably been challenged, in the media as much as anybody for this team are up there. And for him to really dig in, not only buy into the defensive side, bring that energy after, Talk did mention that he was, I think early when Talk was here, he said, yeah, I heard this guy's a buzzsaw, but I haven't seen it. So for him to come out, be that buzzsaw, become more responsible on the defensive side, show his offensive talent, and be able to keep up with Petey and put 20 in the net, it's got to feel amazing for him and now he's become a great value player in the league and definitely on the Canucks right now. So I'm a big fan of him. I think he's exciting to watch, whether he's on the forecheck or he's making offensive moves, and I think he's got a lot more to come here. So I think he'll be a big piece down the stretch.
What are you seeing from Podkolzin? High draft pick. That was his 4th game on Saturday, Brett. What do you like about what you're seeing from him right now?
Yeah, really impressed. I think you've seen the coaching staff talk about how the difference between September and now, and it's pretty obvious when you watch some of the plays he makes. Post-game, Giuseppe talked about how powerful he is and how strong he is as a young kid. And I think you've seen that. He's used his skill. What I've been so impressed with is he's used his skill to become or to make defensive plays or smart plays in key situations, meaning he's getting pucks on the wall, using his skill to evade defenders and get lines, or he's using skill in the neutral zone to make plays, to get it deep, to protect leads. So I think that shows a maturity in his game. Even the other night, he had a 2-on-1 with Garland. He takes the inside lane, and it doesn't look like much to an average fan, I don't think. But for a young guy to take away a defenseman's stick and then drive inside post, which that is the hard lane. That's no shortcuts. That's what Talk's looking for those guys, not to take the shortcuts, not to go to the back post where that's an easy job. So the fact that he's doing that, he's making mature plays, he's showing skill, high-end skill that I think can compete in that top 6. I've been really impressed with him, and I'd like to see more out of him, and I'm sure that the coaching staff's going to want to see how he keeps up with that top 6 to see if he's an actual option when it comes to playoffs, whether it is a mainstay or a call-up or just a guy moving up and down the lineup. But he's got a lot of adversity or a lot of different options there for where he can slot into this lineup.
First time we've had you on, Brett, and we're talking with Brett Festerling here, folks. What are your thoughts on Rick Tocchet as a head coach? What does he do well as a head coach from what you've seen and heard?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, he's honest. The one of the hardest parts about, especially for young guys or for groups that are trying to right the ship like the Canucks were last year, is this dance around the truth a bit. And he's very forthcoming. He's very honest on where you sit and what you got to do to have success as an individual and as a team. And he holds the guys accountable for that. So that transparency, I think, has been pretty incredible for this group to just lay the cards on the table. And this is what we got to do. And he does that really well. It's a simple game. He's not reinventing the wheel, but he's really committed to it. And he's rewarded guys that have done it and bought into it, and that's become contagious throughout the lineup. So I think you've seen that a lot of that success with how he's guided this team and how honest he's been with the players. And now you see that kind of vertical alignment from the AHL team to the NHL team to the coaching staff to the management, and that's made a huge difference this year. And I think that speaks volumes to how far they've come, and a big reason they have come this far.
This has been great. Hey, Brett, it's Chris from Quesnel who wanted to ask you about that U18 team from Quesnel back in the day. Again, he called you a bunch of studs, and congratulations on that. Congratulations on the new gig. We're going to get you back soon. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.